everybody, back to the Hannahcast YouTube channel, and today we're going to be giving our final predictions for the Oscar winners. I have seen now every film in a lot of the major categories. I haven't seen the documentaries, I haven't seen the short films, and I haven't seen all the international films. So there's that, but like everything from like, you know, Best Picture, Director, Screenplay, even a lot of the tech categories like visual effects, sound editing, makeup. I've seen all of those movies now. I will also tell you what I hope wins. Without any further ado, let's talk about my predictions for Best Picture. Now, our nominees for Best Picture are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. Having now seen all these movies, it's a pretty decent Best Picture lineup. I'm not gonna lie, you know, like I said, I didn't like Tar, I didn't like Everything Everywhere All at Once, I didn't like Triangle of Sadness, but let's face it, it's gonna be Everything Everywhere All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to be the winner. Like, it's won SAG Ensemble, DGA, PGA, Writers Guild, like, it's just been sweeping. Even in guilds where it really shouldn't have swept, like in Costume Designers Guild and Production Designers Guild. Actually, no, it's the Art Directors Guild. But still, it's like, it's crazy. So, I really don't see a world where Everything Everywhere All at Once loses. Now, what would be my pick to win Best Picture? Honestly, The Fabelmans. I mean, The Fabelmans, I've already gone on about The Fabelmans so much, and I'm going to be doing my top 10 movies of 2022 pretty shortly, but that would be my pick to win Best Picture, The Fabelmans, but it's going to go to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now we get to directing, in which the nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, directed by Martin McDonagh, The Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. Once again, the Daniels are going to take it. It's going to be the Daniels that take directing. I mean, they've just been killing it, like at Critics' Choice and at DGA. Edward Berger won the BAFTA for director, but like, he's not even nominated here. Which is like a first since like, what, 1998? And Steven Spielberg won the Golden Globe, but again, I'm not expecting Steven Spielberg to take the Oscar, although he would be my pick. Steven Spielberg would be my pick to win Best Director, but let's face it, it's gonna go to the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once. The film is unstoppable. The next category is Original Screenplay, in which the nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. Okay, my pick would be The Banshees of Inisherin. But for some reason, but it's not my prediction. My prediction is Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I still cannot fathom why anyone thinks that Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to lose Original Screenplay to Banshees of Inisherin. Again, it would be my pick, but it's like, yeah, it won the BAFTA for Original Screenplay, but you know what other movie did also win Original Screenplay? 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, at the BAFTAs. Like, it won there, and it won the Golden Globe for Best Screenplay. And we're literally seeing the exact same thing happening right now, where, you know, Banshees of Inisherin, it took the Golden Globe, and it took the BAFTA for Original Screenplay, but at Critics' Choice and the Writers Guild of America Awards, it was Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, granted, 3 Billboards and Banshees weren't eligible for the Writers Guild because Martin McDonagh is now part of the Writers Guild of America, but still, it's like, we're gonna see like a Get Out situation where Everything Everywhere All at Once beats Banshees of Inisherin. I just don't see why people think Banshees is going to win this. Then we get to Best Adapted Screenplay, in which the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion: A Knives Out Mystery, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. Finally saw Living. It is so freaking good. Oh my god, that film made me cry harder than any film this year. And Glass Onion is also probably, Glass Onion would maybe be my pick to win Adapted Screenplay, I should say. But the reason why both Glass Onion and Living have zero shot at winning is because they're not nominated for Best Picture. Like, keep in mind, in the expanded Best Picture era, from 2009 until now, there has never, ever been a screenplay winner, original or adapted, that wasn't also nominated for Best Picture. And since Glass Onion and Living aren't nominated for Best Picture, they're never gonna win. Like, you can count that out right now. So now we're left with All Quiet on the Western Front, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. And let's face it, it's between All Quiet on the Western Front and Women Talking. Because I thought maybe there was a chance that Top Gun could take the Writers Guild for adapted screenplay. Nope. Couldn't even do that. And when you have All Quiet on the Western Front, which was nominated at BAFTA, and it won the BAFTA for adapted screenplay, mind you. And keep in mind, this was weird because the only two nominees here that got nominated at the BAFTAs for adapted screenplay were All Quiet on the Western Front and Living. And you can't really put Living as a contender here because, again, it wasn't nominated for Best Picture. All Quiet on the Western Front did win the BAFTA for adapted screenplay, despite Women Talking, not being there at all. There's one thing I kind of noticed about All Quiet on the Western Front and that huge BAFTA sweep that it had. Does that hurt or does it help All Quiet on the Western Front? And the reason why I say it could maybe hurt All Quiet on the Western Front is because if it swept that hard at BAFTA, then it more so shows us how much the BAFTAs just loved that film. And I just don't see All Quiet on the Western Front doing that same thing. I don't see All Quiet winning Best Picture or Best Adapted Screenplay like this. And so I'm thinking it might go to Women Talking. I have to assume it'll go to Women Talking, but again, maybe All Quiet does win. I don't know. My personal pick would be Glass Onion, but my prediction as of now is Women Talking. But at the same time, but again, this is also very difficult because The Father was also, a film that wasn't nominated for the Writers Guild, and it won the BAFTA, and then it ended up winning the Oscar. But then at the same time, you also have to realize that The Father was in other screenplay categories. Like, I think it was nominated for the Golden Globe for screenplay, and it was nominated for adapted screenplay at Critics' Choice. All Quiet on the Western Front only showed up at BAFTA and the Oscars. Again, it makes it very difficult. I'm gonna say Women Talking right now, but if any film were to beat Women Talking, it would be All Quiet on the Western Front. Then we get to Lead Actor, which the nominees are Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for Aftersun, and Bill Nighy for Living. Which, I'm not gonna lie, this is having now seen Living, this is a perfect lineup. Like, this is absolutely perfect. I could not take out a single one of these actors. This is about as perfect of a category as you can get this year. And the competition is tough. For some reason, people actually think Colin Farrell's gonna win this. And I'm like, what evidence is there to support that at all? Because, Colin Farrell won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, but none of these guys were nominated alongside him. Austin Butler, Brendan Fraser, and Bill Nighy were nominated for, the Drama Golden Globe, and Paul Mescal wasn't even nominated anywhere at the Golden Globes. So it's like, Colin Farrell won a Golden Globe, but he was competing against none of these other people. If Colin Farrell won the BAFTA, then you'd have a legitimate argument to make for him to win. But he didn't. It went to Austin Butler. But even then, between Austin Butler and Brendan Fraser, it's a battle. All the acting categories are such chaos now, except for one, and we'll get to that one here in a bit. With lead actor, Austin Butler won the Golden Globe, beating Brendan Fraser, and he won the BAFTA, beating Brendan Fraser. But then Brendan Fraser won the Critics' Choice Award, and he won the SAG Award. I want this, and I mean, I want this to go to Brendan Fraser. His performance in The Whale is maybe one of the best I've seen ever. His performance is so heartbreaking, so rip your heart out and squeeze the blood out of it. he was devastating in that film. But I don't think he's gonna win. I think it is going to go to Austin Butler because, and this is something I should have realized with the whole Paul Mescal thing right now, and it's that with Paul Mescal, I should have realized he was getting a nomination because Hollywood was already starting to take notice of him, mainly with him being cast in Gladiator 2, whereas with Austin Butler, the same thing is happening. He's in Dune Part 2. Everyone is paying close attention to Austin Butler in Hollywood right now. Whereas with Brendan Fraser, I think the only thing he has right now is Killers of the Flower Moon, but again, it wasn't like one of those announcements that came right around award season. And it's not like a big film like Gladiator is, or like Dune is. So, I really want this to go to Brendan Fraser, but I think it will go to Austin Butler. I think we are going to see one of those rare splits between the SAG Awards and the Oscars. Although, I really hope I'm wrong. I beg that I'm wrong about Austin Butler winning. And don't get me wrong, Austin Butler's great, but, like, you have to see The Whale. Brendan Fraser is just devastating in that role. But to anyone thinking Colin Farrell's going to win, there's no chance of it happening. There's absolutely zero chance of it happening. He only won a Golden Globe for musical or comedy, and he was competing against none of these other guys. So, zero chance that he wins. I think it's gonna be Austin Butler. Then we get to actress in a leading role, and the nominees are Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, if it were me, I'd probably pick Andrea Riseborough, and below her, I'd probably put Ana de Armas. Blonde is a borderline terrible film, and even unethical, but Ana de Armas was phenomenal in that film. But Andrea Riseborough would probably be my pick. Like, the hype around her performance is legit, but I don't see her winning. For a while now, I was like, it's gonna be Cate Blanchett. It's the Cate Blanchett Award. Like, it's easy. She's gonna win this. And then out of nowhere, Michelle Yeoh takes SAG. I was like, oh, this changes everything now. Michelle Yeoh, like, here's the thing. If she were to win the Critics' Choice Award, I would have been predicting her more early on to win the Oscar. But she didn't even win a Critics' Choice. And that would absolutely be something that the Critics' Choice Awards would do. No, she didn't get the Critics' Choice Award. It went to Cate Blanchett. If Cate Blanchett can win the Critics' Choice Award, then she's got the Oscar in the bag right now. And then losing to Michelle Yeoh at SAG, that's big. And again, it just shows how powerful Everything Everywhere All at Once is this season, especially like this last minute surge where it's just cleaning up every award it can possibly get. And I think Michelle Yeoh is going to take the Oscar for Best Lead Actress. And I'm not gonna lie, even though Michelle Yeoh will probably be my third pick amongst these nominees, I would prefer Michelle Yeoh over Cate Blanchett, because I'm not gonna lie, Cate Blanchett, it just seemed like, yeah, she's good. I've seen her better in other films, but with Michelle Yeoh, I was like, I got a lot more out of that performance than Cate Blanchett. So, like, because, like, yeah, Andrea Riseborough and Ana de Armas, I would pick above Michelle Yeoh, but I would much prefer a Michelle Yeoh win over a Cate Blanchett win. So I think Michelle Yeoh is going to win, even though my personal pick would probably be Andrea Riseborough. If there was any lock, and I'm not saying this is a complete sweeper, because he did lose the BAFTA, but do you really see a world where Ke Huy Quan loses Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars? Anyways, the nominees are Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's gonna be the Ke Huy Quan Award. Like, he's gonna win this. Easy. Easy. It's not even a contest. Now, again, he did lose the BAFTA to Barry Keoghan, but that was a surprise. Well, I was like, what? That's the bigger shock. Like, not that Ke Huy Quan lost the BAFTA, but the fact that he lost the BAFTA to someone who wasn't Brendan Gleeson. I'm not gonna lie, this is a very tough year for a supporting actor. All of these are, like, so good. Okay, maybe Judd Hirsch would probably be at the bottom for me. I thought Paul Dano was significantly better than Judd Hirsch in The Fabelmans. But I think my pick and my prediction would probably be Ke Huy Quan. Although again, Brendan Gleeson is phenomenal in The Banshees of Inisherin. Next, we have Best Supporting Actress, and our nominees are Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Once again, this is really hard to predict because Angela Bassett won the thing at the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice, but at the BAFTAs, it went to Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, which, alright, I should have kind of expected that to happen. And then out of nowhere, Jamie Lee Curtis takes SAG. Who could possibly win this? My pick would be Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I didn't like the film, but I thought she was incredible in it. But I don't know if she wins the Oscar at this point. She won Golden Globes and Critics' Choice, but it's like, it feels like her passion has kind of just died off. I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis is gonna win the Oscar. I don't think she's gonna win, even though she did win SAG. I think, honestly, this might go to Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's Angela Bassett. But I think when you look at, SAG versus BAFTA, I think they're probably gonna go the BAFTA route this time. So I think Carrie Condon wins, although like I said, my pick would be Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Next, we have Cinematography, another big race ahead of us. All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. Again, when Top Gun Maverick didn't get nominated for cinematography, I was like, well, there goes our frontrunner. Who's gonna win this now? So we really only have 2 award shows to go to because, Top Gun Maverick won the Critics' Choice Award. That's not useful to us anymore. And so we have the American Society of Cinematographers and the BAFTA. And even then we got 2 different winners because All Quiet on the Western Front won the BAFTA, but at ASC, All Quiet on the Western Front wasn't even nominated. And so we ended up getting Elvis as the winner. And once again, I must ask, does All Quiet on the Western Front performing that well at the BAFTAs help or hurt it? Yeah, it did win cinematography, but at the same time, it won practically almost every award that it got. So, is that useful? Now granted, the BAFTAs have lined up with the Oscars even in years where the Oscars didn't align with ASC. For example, in 2012, Skyfall won the ASC for cinematography, but then Life of Pi ended up winning the BAFTA and the Oscar. So there have been some inconsistencies. So really, this is a race between All Quiet on the Western Front and Elvis. And granted, Elvis does have that narrative of if it were to win Best Cinematography, Mandy Walker would become the first woman to ever win an Oscar for cinematography. So that does help. And again, like I said before, it would not be an undeserved win. Like, she would not have won this because she's a woman, but like, she would have won because, like, it is stunning cinematography. Hell, I'd probably say out of these nominees, since Top Gun's not in there, Elvis probably would be my pick. Do the Oscars line up with BAFTA here? I'm going to maybe right now say All Quiet on the Western Front, but we could very well see Elvis. Like, it's really close. So right now I will say All Quiet on the Western Front is going to win, although I'm hoping that Elvis wins. Next category is Film Editing, in which our nominees are The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick. Now, I think this is definitely a race between... Actually, no, it's not a race. What am I even talking about? It's going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, why did I even start that sentence off? It's going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, why do I think it's going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once and not Top Gun Maverick? Because even at the BAFTAs, when competing against Top Gun and All Quiet, Everything Everywhere All at Once still won editing. It still won. And keep in mind that, like, in terms of the winners, they did not really think Everything Everywhere All at Once was all that great, at least at the BAFTAs. editing was the only win that Everything Everywhere got at BAFTA. And so if it can win editing at the BAFTAs over All Quiet and Top Gun Maverick, then yeah, it's gonna take the Oscar here. Now, what would be my pick? My personal pick would be Elvis. Elvis, I think, was such a sporadic film, just some very good editing. And so, yeah, it would be my pick, but Elvis isn't gonna win this. It's gonna be Everything Everywhere All at Once. Next, we have production design, and our nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans. Yeah, I think that it's going to go to Babylon. It won Critics' Choice, it won the BAFTA, and it won the Art Directors Guild of America Awards. And having seen Babylon, that's a 3-hour movie with a lot of sets that had to be built. My pick and my prediction for production design is Babylon. And next we have costume design. Oh boy, this is where things get juicy. We have Babylon, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Oh man, at the beginning of this award season, everyone was saying, oh yeah, it's gonna be Black Panther. Black Panther's gonna win this, easy. And then the Costume Designers Guild came out, and then yoink, Everything Everywhere All at Once took best costumes in a sci-fi fantasy film away from Black Panther, and that shook everything. That wasn't supposed to happen. For period film at the Costume Designers Guild, it went to Elvis, and at the BAFTAs, it went to Elvis. So really, we're only kind of looking at Elvis and Everything Everywhere All at Once right now. I think they're gonna go for Elvis. Out of these picks, it's tough. I might pick Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, at least for my personal pick, but I don't. Considering it didn't even win Best Costumes in a Sci-Fi Fantasy Film at the Costume Designers Guild, I don't think Black Panther's gonna do so well here. Then we get to Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and our nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, and The Whale. Now, if you're gonna ask me who should win, it should go to The Whale. The makeup in The Whale is so good that I'm just like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, the prosthetics and full body suit that Brendan Fraser had to wear, it's so, like, one of the things that Brendan Fraser talked about with the makeup in The Whale was that it had to obey the laws of physics, the laws of gravity. You know, when you look at a lot of other fat suits and makeup in movies, a lot of it's like, you know, the character's just bouncing around and stuff, and it's like, you know, it's not all that realistic. The Whale, he said it had to, like, be realistic. Like, how does a person that looks like that get around? And all that being so well thought out and it looking so good, like, it should win. But I'll tell you right now, it won't. It's gonna be Elvis. And don't get me wrong, Elvis had very good makeup, and again, it's worthy of a nomination, but not over The Whale. It's sort of like, you know, with Austin Butler and Brendan Fraser. It's not that Austin Butler doesn't deserve a nomination. He does. But, like, Brendan Fraser is, like, so high above him. And that's the same thing with the makeup here. The makeup in The Whale is, like, next level shit. Like, unbelievable what they were able to do. But because, you know, Austin Butler is going to win lead actor, and usually that kind of does correspond with the makeup, I think it's going to go to Elvis. And yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed because again, it should go to The Whale, but I think it's going to be Elvis that wins this. And now we get to Best Visual Effects, and the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun: Maverick. I am still sore over the fact that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness got snubbed in favor of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I don't know how the hell that happened. Because, like, what did Black Panther: Wakanda Forever do that was more groundbreaking than Doctor Strange? So I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit underwhelming for me. It's like, I think I would have probably nominated only 2 of these movies for visual effects. And again, my second choice for visual effects wasn't even nominated here. But let's face it, it's gonna go to Avatar. At least it better go to Avatar. Here's the thing. I get more angry at bad visual effects winners than like bad Best Picture winners. Like, yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once is gonna win Best Picture, but I'm not gonna get actually upset over that. I will fucking riot if Avatar: The Way of Water loses to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And now you're probably asking, why would it lose to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever? Because there are 3 Best Picture nominees in the running for visual effects right now. We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, and Top Gun: Maverick. You want to know the last year where there was 3 Best Picture nominees nominated for Best Visual Effects? 2015. We had Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, and The Revenant, and they all lost to Ex Machina, a film that was not even nominated for Best Picture. And like Ex Machina, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was nominated for the Producers Guild Award for Best Picture. It didn't get the Oscar nomination, but it got PGA. So I'm worried that if any film were to beat Avatar: The Way of Water, it would be Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And again, not for the right reasons. It would be for completely unfair, stupid, asinine reasons. I'm still saying Avatar: The Way of Water, and again, it better be Avatar: The Way of Water, because it won, like, I think 9 Visual Effects Society awards? Like, if it doesn't win, what's wrong with everyone? Because Avatar: The Way of Water was so much more groundbreaking than any of these films. Any of them. It's not even close. So that does worry me. But right now, I will still say Avatar: The Way of Water will win, and it better win. This is the biggest, like, probably the most invested award I'm in right now. At least in terms of how upset I will be if this one doesn't win. And now we get to Best Sound, in which our nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun: Maverick. I think it's gonna go to Top Gun: Maverick here. If I'm not mistaken, this would probably give it the only win, because it's not nominated for cinematography. And earlier I would probably said, oh yeah, it could probably win Best Picture. And right now it's not looking like it's gonna do that, unless somehow it wins Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars, despite all odds. And if that happens, I'll be like, I think Top Gun: Maverick wins Best Sound. And in terms of my choice, my pick, I'd honestly say Elvis because of the sound mixing of the film. The sound mix in Elvis was so good and so, again, just fueled with energy. Next, we have Best Original Score, in which we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. I'm thinking Babylon takes this. A lot of people are saying maybe it could be All Quiet on the Western Front. Again, I think they're mainly going off of the BAFTAs. The BAFTAs really loved All Quiet. I don't know if that will translate as well to the Oscars. The only win that Babylon has right now is the Golden Globe, because it didn't win the Critics' Choice because it went to Tar, and then it lost BAFTA to All Quiet. But right now, I'm thinking it's gonna be Babylon, but we'll have to see. And out of my picks, it probably would be my pick as well. Honestly, I think All Quiet on the Western Front and Babylon are my only films that I would nominate for original score here. Again, the Batman wasn't even shortlisted. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio didn't get nominated. And also RRR didn't get nominated, but I kind of expected RRR to not do that. But speaking of RRR, we have Best Original Song, which the nominees are Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Hold My Hand from Top Gun: Maverick, Lift Me Up from Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Natu Natu from RRR, and This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm a little bit scared. I want Natu Natu to win. I want Natu Natu to win, but I'm worried it doesn't. Is Natu Natu too weird for the average Academy voter? Again, it won Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, but is this too weird for the Oscars? And I'm worried that it will go to either This Is a Life or Lift Me Up. This is, honestly, I don't know what to predict. I'm really torn between Lift Me Up and Natu Natu. I will predict Natu Natu. I'm not confident though. I'm not confident that Natu Natu takes it. I'm worried it could maybe be Lift Me Up or This Is a Life, because the Oscars are all over Everything Everywhere All at Once. So I'll say Natu Natu, and it should win. I'm not confident though. Not confident. Then we have Best Animated Feature Film. We have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. All these films are fantastic. I wouldn't nominate Marcel the Shell with Shoes On because it's not an animated movie. It's a live-action movie with animated characters. Let's face it. It's gonna be, this is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio's win. Like, it's gonna win this. It's not even a contest. Like, if any film were to beat Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, it would probably be Puss in Boots, but I just don't see that happening. Like, I just don't see that happening. It's gonna, like, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio has too much momentum. I'll even go as far as to say this is the biggest lock on Oscar night. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is gonna win this, and it should win this. Next, we have animated short film. I'm not gonna give my picks here because I've seen none of these, so I'm just gonna assume, I don't know, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse will win this. Then we have live action short film. I'm assuming it's gonna be, what is it called? Les Pupilles? It's I think, because Alfonso Cuarón's one of the producers, and I think this will just be like another Infinity Stone for like Alfonso's gauntlet of Oscar win. Documentary short film, once again I've seen none of these, so I'm just gonna give you my prediction. I'm assuming maybe Elephant Whisperers. It's the top one on Gold Derby. I'm just kind of going off of that. And then we have documentary feature film. I'm assuming this goes to Navalny. It won Producers Guild. It won the Producers Guild Award, and it won the BAFTA. Although there's a lot of love for Fire of Love. So keep an eye out for that. But right now, I'll probably say Navalny. And then we get to the final prediction here, and it's a no-brainer. International feature film. And the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Argentina 1985, Close, EO, and The Quiet Girl. Who are we kidding? It's All Quiet on the Western Front's literally nominated for Best Picture. If it doesn't win, I'd have some questions, because like, why would you nominate it for Best Picture and yet not give it an international feature? That would be really, really weird. Those are my predictions for the Oscars this year. My final predictions for the Oscar wins. My question goes to you. What are your predictions, and what are your hopes to win the categories of the Oscars this year? Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button because it helps out the algorithm, and hit that bell button because it's going to notify you of future videos and live streams. And I will be live streaming my reaction to the Oscars live watch of the Oscars. And if you want to support me on Ko-Fi, I would very much appreciate that. You can support me at ko-fi.com/ChristianHannah. And if you want to see more, click this.